Hello, everyone. I'm Zero Zero the Bee, and today, um, you're not getting a review for this, and I'll explain a little later about the reviews and shit on in the video. But today, we want to talk about something very serious that happened in the dubstep industry, and I'll give you a little story behind it. So, it was April 1st, it was April Fool's Day, and I remember my friend Mags was texting me saying that he had an EP coming out, and the problem was it's on April Fool's fell on a Friday, so you expect like all these musicians to drop their music and shit. And I remember he was texting me saying that he had an EP on this label called Never Say Die. I fell for that link. I clicked the pre-save link. It turns out it was a Rickroll video. Yeah, and I thought, oh my god, that would be so cool if you were on the label because I know he is a moderator or an admin. No, a moderator for the Dr. Ozzy server. Yeah. And then comes the next day. The next day comes around and I had my usual work day. I had a very short work day on Saturday. And then after that, my father took me to my first NBA game and I luckily got to see the Sixers win. And during the middle of the game, I think it was during the after the second quarter, or it was like around the third quarter of the game, my friend Mags texted me saying, "Yo, Jacob, did you hear about the whole thing about Never Say Die?" And I was like, "Dude, April Fool's just happened yesterday. Like, I'm not falling for this bullshit." And he's like, "Nah, dude, I'm being serious. They shut down its doors. They're done." And I thought, I was like, no, 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 this kid's capping. This kid is fucking capping. And then I checked Instagram and I checked Twitter and I saw a post from Never Say Die saying, after 13 years, we're closing our doors and we are shutting down the label. I wanted to like fucking cry so badly, but I was out in public. I was out with my father, and he was taking me to my first NBA game. And I can't believe I found out when I was at the basketball game that Never Say Die shut its doors. I couldn't process that in my mind because I was mostly thinking about the Sixers trying to win the game. And then when I went home after doing yard work and all that shit, I checked social media again to think like, oh my god, I must be on drugs, I must be drinking too much or whatever. I must be on something. And then I checked again and I was like, yo, they're not joking. They completely just it's gone. They're done. I couldn't believe it because the label meant so much to me. Hence the reason why I'm wearing my Space Laces shirt. The label meant so damn much to me because I remember 10 years ago being an 11-year-old kid with his little iPod Nano, and I remember listening to the song Still Getting It by Foreign Beggars. In fact, rest in peace, Metropolis and Skrillex. I just remember the very first time I heard that song, and I thought, this is one of the best damn songs I ever heard in my life. And then I remember listening to the rest of The Harder They Fall by Foreign Beggars, and I just remember like listening to that for the first time, and I was like, damn, I got to discover more about this label. And it wasn't until 2013 where I really started getting into the label. I would be checking Beatport because back then I didn't have any social media. I didn't have Instagram. I didn't have SoundCloud. I Apple Music did not exist then. I would literally have to look through Beatport whenever there's new music. And I had no Twitter. I had no social media. Keep in mind, I was 12 years old. I was 12 years old, and I was 11 when I first heard Still Getting It. and my parents didn't want me to have social media back then. But I just remember checking Beatport every day or every week for new releases, and I would be checking on YouTube as well whenever Never Say Die puts out a teaser for their next upcoming release. I remember when they teased Never Say Die Volume 2, collaborate with UKF. And keep in mind, like, I was 12, and here I am at 21 years old. Like, you have to understand that this label meant everything to me. And I remember all these, like, releases, watching the teasers, listening to the previews and whatever for their releases, and I just thought, damn, this is some good music. This is like, because back then I would just listen to Skrillex, like, and a few other people like that I thought were dubstep, but they were just like also house producers and whatever. Not that I have anything bad about it. It's just I remember just Skrillex being one of my biggest inspirations, and I remember listening to Still Getting It the very first day. And Must Die, when he dropped Fever Dream Part 1, when I saw the teaser, I wanted to listen to that EP right away, but I was at a sleepaway camp around that time. And I remember it would first be released on Beatport, and then a week or two later, it would come out on iTunes, because I could only use iTunes back then. There was no such thing as Apple Music back in the day. I remember just listening to the Fever Dream EP, the first part of the Fever Dream EP, and I lost my shit when I was listening to that song, Fever Dream. And then I listened to other songs like Snow Cone, Payback. All the songs on there meant so much to me. And fast forward to now, Must Die ending off the label with the song Angelware, which I've actually yet to listen to. So I'll probably explain what I might do later on in the video. So just years and years go by with this label, and having to see producers come and go. Like, I remember Twine being on the label. I remember when he was first on Firepower, and then when I saw he was releasing on Never Say Die, I lost my shit, because Twine was one of my biggest inspirations that got me into dubstep. He would make like hybrid dubstep music that was just so damn good and on point. And I remember texting him through Instagram, seeing all the little snippets he was posting on his Instagram when he was teasing the Die For You EP. And I was like, dude, this EP is going to be fucking sick. I remember texting him saying like, yo, dude, this EP is going to be baller as hell. And just the label, like, how much it progressed throughout the years. Like, if it wasn't for Never Say Die, I would have not known who More Kismet was back in the day. Like, I literally discovered More Kismet through the Character EP. And then I started texting them through Instagram saying like, yo, I'm so excited to listen to this new EP. I'm so surprised, because like, they were just 14 at the time, and now look at them. They're walking like on red carpets. They had like a little I remember just discovering More Kismet through Never Say Die, just when they were only 14 years old. And I thought, oh my god, that's so crazy how a 14-year-old producer is getting on a big label like Never Say Die. And now look where they're at. They're 17 years old. They've now signed to another big label, and they have a big LP coming out in just fucking 2 months. But just having to see the artists come and go, especially Space Laces. Man, Space Laces, when I saw them on Never Say Die, that was one of the craziest things I ever... I wasn't really paying attention back then because I was mostly focusing with school. But I remember when he had that EP Overdrive and how he had that collaboration with Getter, aka the Sawdude guy, if anyone knows about that joke. I thought, oh my god, that's so sick. He collaborated with the guy with the whole like Sawdude meme and whatever. And it kind of pissed me off a bit back in the day when Getter, like how people were only recognizing Getter through the Sawdude meme. And I was like, I've known Getter since when he released on Firepower. And hearing that song Choppas was like insane. And I would do like so many different mashups and whatever to Space Lace songs. Like you've seen me done mashups to songs from Voltage and other songs from like Overdrive and High Voltage. And I still do it today because there's so many great ideas that come from my mind with whatever I have in store for any good doubles or mashups I have with those songs. Space Lace is just like was one of the biggest people that or the one of the big names on the label that made me want to listen to Never Say Die again because I would go back. I would like back when I used to work at another job. I would be able to listen to my own music and I would binge Never Say Die. I would binge the Black Label as well. And I remember just it only feels like yesterday since Black Label was like shut down a year ago. And I never expected this day that Never Say Die, the main label, the core label, closes its doors. And now I'm thinking, what's next? What's next with all these other musicians? Are they going to do self releases? Are they going to migrate to other labels? What is next for Never Say Die? Like the artists, like what's next for them? Are they going to put out like an NFT token to memorize all the releases that were put out on there? Because it wasn't just Never Say Die like the main label, it was also the Black Label as well, which is what I loved as well. That introduced me to so many new people like Veer, Ominous. Well, Megalodon had releases on the main label before, but then also decided to release on the Black Label too. Habstrack was also another name on there. And just having to see people come and go. Lax, who now goes under the name as Link. Um, shit. Mob Scene. 501 was another name on there that I always wondered where the hell he was, and then I found out he's a lawyer. I thought the man fell off hard. Like I thought, like for some reason, I thought, oh my god, I have not heard any music from him. He fell off, and he's like, nah, he's now a lawyer, and just having to see so many people come and go, and just the main man behind this whole label, Schism. I remember listening to songs like Down Down with the Kids, or I remember listening to the Down with the Kids EP, Elixir, Power, and I remember Eptic doing a remix to that song as well. Yeah, Eptic was also another name that I want to mention because he's done many collaborations now today. Like he recently did one with Murata, did one with Marshmello and Juicy J. But just finding out where he started to where he's at right now is what fascinates me so much because he's progressed so much with his music. A lot of these artists have. I'm not just talking about Eptic and everybody else. Like a lot of these artists on the label had wonderful releases, and just looking at where they are right now, whether they decide to stay for the home stretch or just go off to do bigger things. I love what they done for Never Say Die, where they started or where they have gone with the label. I remember discovering Onumi in the song Error with Must Die. And I just thought, oh my god, I've never heard of this Onumi person before. And I started looking up like all of her sets and shit. And I was like, damn, she's got some good shit. Like her remix of The Baddest. Not just the song Error, but like listening to other songs by Onumi is like amazing work. Jesus Christ, like some of these people just like putting out their own fascinating work, whether if it's how little or big they are, means so much to Never Say Die. And not to sound corny or cheesy, but Never Say Die, it may look like it have died, but the legacy continues. They're not dead. They continue. It may be the end, but the legacy continues. And I know there's so many artists that I've not mentioned in this video, but yeah. Now, anyway, let me talk to you about what's happening on this channel. Originally, I would not put out any reviews this month. I have something coming up later on in the coming weeks, as I'm going to be teasing it in just like a week or two for now. And I'm really excited to show you what I'm have in store for what's happening this month. But I think what I might do is I might put just one more, just only one review this month. And I think to pay my respects for Never Say Die, I'll be doing one review, and that is for Must Die song Angelware. I don't know when I'm going to post it, but keep your eyes and ears open. But anyway, thank you, Never Say Die, for putting out all the wonderful people, the releases, the events that you put out. Thank you. Long live Never Say Die.